my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a freezer meal video, and it's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be one of those, make a bunch of freezer meals and put them all in the freezer, but I'm going to show you a casserole dish that I love to make for my family. It is something that my mom used to make for us growing up, and then my kids learned to love it. And it's something that when I go visit my son, he wants me to make this for his freezer. So I thought I would show you what it is, and especially right now, my husband and I are officially empty nesters, and so cooking for two is going to be a little bit different. So freezer meals are going to be something that I'm going to really be taking advantage of. Now, it is also a collaboration, and it's hosted by Lynn over at Bucket List Homestead. She's put together a month-long collaboration of Freeze It February meals. She has put together a playlist of content creators that have come together to put together some freezer meals for you to have in your meal repertoire. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this at the end of the video, because this collaboration, there is going to be a giveaway at the end of the month. So I'll tell you a little bit more about the collaboration at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. But I will have a link to Lynn's channel as well as the playlist in my description box. So for now, let me go ahead and show you the casserole that we love to make. To get this casserole started, I'm going to boil my noodles, and I have my water on, I have it salted, and it is almost coming to a boil. So I'm using medium egg noodles, and you can use a large or wide egg noodles if you prefer. We just like the medium ones. And so I'm going to cook the noodles according to the package instructions. Now that my noodles are started, I'm going to get started on the ground beef, and I'm just going to brown this package. It's a pound of ground beef, and I'm going to brown it. And once I get it chopped up a little bit, I'm going to use some seasoning. I'm using pepper. I use minced onion and garlic. Even though the spaghetti sauce that I'm going to use is a seasoned spaghetti sauce, I do like to add my own seasoning as well. So that's why I use the garlic, the pepper, and the minced onion. You're just going to finish letting this cook until the ground beef is browned, and then you're going to drain off any fat that you have in the skillet. This roasted garlic and herb is my favorite flavor of the spaghetti sauces that you can find in the grocery store, and I use about a jar and a quarter. So I always get 2 jars because I like to make sure it has enough of the spaghetti sauce. So I use about a quarter of the second jar. You get that mixed up real good and just let that simmer on low. This meal is very similar to a lasagna, but I just feel like this is way easier to make than a lasagna, and much quicker for sure. Got my spaghetti sauce simmering, and so I'm going to check the noodles. The noodles are done, so I drained them and brought them back to the stove. Now to the noodles, you are going to add 1 16-ounce container of cottage cheese. I prefer the 4% milk fat and the small curd. And then you are going to add a 16-ounce container of sour cream. And before I get all of this stirred up, I'm just gonna add some extra seasoning. So I'm gonna add some garlic and some Italian seasoning. And you can use pepper here at this point if you want to. I just added the garlic and the Italian seasoning. But once you get that added, then you mix it up really well and get all those noodles coated real good with the sour cream and the cottage cheese. And now it's time to assemble. So I'm just going to start off with a layer of the meat sauce just to coat the bottom. And I do have my casserole dish sprayed really well. Just makes for much easier cleanup. But get the bottom coated with that spaghetti sauce. Then you're going to put half of the noodle mixture into the casserole dish and get that spread out evenly. I have about 2.5 to 3 cups of shredded cheese. So I'm going to put some shredded cheese on top of the noodles, and then on top of the cheese, then you're going to just repeat the layers. You're going to do the ground beef, the rest of the noodles, some more cheese, the rest of the ground beef, and the rest of the cheese. And then your casserole is ready to put in the oven. And I let this cook on 425. My oven is already preheated to 425. And I let it cook for about 20 minutes until the cheese is bubbly and starts to get brown. This is one of those casserole dishes that I have made so many times. And whenever I go visit my son in Texas, this is one of those things he always wants me to make and put up in the freezer. So now that, like I said earlier, my husband and I are empty nesters, it's going to be a little bit different cooking for two. So that's where this Freeze It February comes in perfectly handy. We finished eating our dinner and we have a lot of casserole left. So I'm just going to use these little containers that I got. I actually got these from a discount store called Ollie's. And I'm just going to fill those up. I would figure one container is probably, the equivalent of maybe a helping for each of us. So this will get us 2 more dinners. So this casserole is perfect for freezing. It comes out of the freezer tasting just as good as it did when I first cooked it. Like I said, my husband and I are now empty nesters, so it's gonna take me a little bit to kind of get used to just cooking for 2. Now, when my son was living at home, he would still sometimes eat at home, even though he worked, full time, and there were many nights when he wasn't home for dinner, but he still was eating at home, so I was still cooking for 3. But now that I'm just cooking for 2, it's gonna mean a lot of freezer meals. So anyway, thanks so much to Lynn for hosting this collaboration and getting me in the mode of freezer meals. So if you want to know more about this, then you can go check out Lynn's channel. But also on the playlist, if you watch every person's video in the playlist and you comment on their video, you will be entered in to win one of 7 prizes that she is going to give away. She's going to do a live on March the 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and she's going to have a giveaway. So make sure that you watch everyone's videos, and also if you're not subscribed to their channel, make sure you show them a little bit of love. click the subscribe button and click the bell button. And if you're new to my channel, if you're coming over from one of the other channels, I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube family. Click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. If you like all things homemaking, whether it is meal ideas, shopping hauls, home decor, then I would love for you to be a part of my family here on YouTube. And if you want more meal ideas, then make sure that you click on the box you see on the screen right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.